All right, welcome back, everybody. Got our technical issue, link figured out at least for a little bit. As we mentioned, UND got a new football commit. Caden Gutzmer joins us back on the phone line here out of Minnetonka High School. Announced his commitment to play football for the Fighting Hawks. It's appreciate you giving us a few minutes here. Congratulations. Tell us about why UND was the fit for you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on. I'd say, first of all, UND is a very special place, and ever since I got down there the first time, it was about this time last year when I was a sophomore. I loved it there. I thought the facilities were sweet by first glance, and then the more I got to get to know the coaching staff with Schmidt, and I was just like, this dude's awesome. And then they offered me, and I just thought it's the best situation for me. They had everything that I wanted, and it was just a place that I wanted to spend the rest of my career.
Was this committing even happen earlier in your own timeline than you thought, or was this right about when you thought you would?
I would say it actually happened a little bit earlier. So I planned on committing probably June, early June. Some schools were going to come and see me. And then I was at a visit to North Dakota, and they were kind of like, you need to they didn't pressure me to make a decision, but they were telling me they had this other kid up, and I just thought that it was right. And I was like, yeah, these other schools might come and watch me work out. And I was like, I just don't know if I'm going to like the situation any better than I'm going to like it at North Dakota. So they had everything that I wanted. So it was a pretty easy decision once I thought about it some more.
All right, I got to know here about this past season. I want to rip the Band-Aid off here about the Edina game, but I'm going to have to ask here in a second. But you also came back from a knee injury. Tell me about last season and the roller coaster ride that 2025 was for you.
Yeah, that was not planned, but I got injured week 4. In the second quarter, it was on a long run. I got tackled from behind. And I slightly strained or stretched my PCL in my knee. They originally told me I'd be out 1 to 2 weeks. I went and got another MRI before I returned to play, and they're like, actually, no, you're out the rest of the season.
Oof.
And I was like, that's not going to happen. I need to return. I can't watch my team go to the state tournament without me. So I returned. My doctors weren't happy, but I played on a bum knee. But yeah, that's what that was.
How much pain were you in when you came back?
A lot of pain, actually. I think it was visible in my film. I was pushing it a lot every game, and halftime at the end of the game, I would take off the brace and throw it. It was a lot of pain.
Jeez.
But, I had to do it. Adrenaline would kick in, which helped, obviously, but yeah.
So we had your teammate in Cody Braun on last week about his commitment coming up here to play for the Bison. You got a loaded team. You got your running back is going to go play at Iowa State. You guys are going to be playing Division I football. Tell me about your team this year and now this upcoming fall as well. Of how loaded are the skippers for this upcoming year?
Yeah, we're really excited for this year. We've been young the last 2 years with a bunch of sophomores, my class, and then last year with juniors, especially defensively. But we're gonna be very good. We got other dudes with offers, and a cornerback named Jonah Cummings, up and coming kid named Kieran Vogel. He's a wide receiver. He'll get some tension. Miles, Augustine. So we're gonna be good. We got players everywhere.
I was asking Cody I'm sorry. Go ahead, bud.
I was just going to say our defense, I think we're returning 9 from last year. And then offense, skill-wise, we're returning everyone but our running back. And then we lost all 6 O-linemen, though. That's our one. But we're young, and we'll build them up. And Coach Shoemaker is a great coach, and he'll get them right.
So I asked Cody this last week or 2 weeks ago, whenever he committed, about making the trip up to Moorhead. I know the Spuds came there. Are you excited or not so much about making the bus ride to come up to this part of the world?
No, I'm excited. It'll be fun. It'll be a really good game. But no, I got that marked on my calendar. I'm excited. I can't wait. Yeah, it's gonna be good.
What was that? Really what was that like, Caden, having them come in and have the kind of success that they did right away? Was that surprising to you guys, or not so much?
Not so much, because they got some good players on our team. There was a little 5A to 6A. How big is the jump? And they came in. I'd say they adjusted obviously pretty well going to the state championship, but they got some really good players on their team that can handle all that type of pressure. So they handled it really well.
Caden, I got to ask you had offer University of Miami, obviously pops. Just tell me about when the Hurricanes offered and what went through your mind when they called you and said, "Hey, we'd like to offer you a scholarship."
Yeah, so it was actually from Coach C.J. Heatherman. He was at the Gophers, and then he remembered my name, took it to Miami, and they watched my film, and they were like, "Let's offer this kid. Let's not put him on the top of our board, but let's definitely get an offer out to him." And I was kind of, in the moment, I was originally like, "Oh my God, this is where I'm gonna go! Like, I'm so excited! Like, this is gonna be so awesome." Then the more I thought about it, I was like, I also want to go somewhere where I'm celebrated, and UND really showed that to me. They were excited about me, but they also told me that I was like their fifth guy, so they're like, "Yeah, you can commit, but there's these other dudes that we want to commit first." And I'm like, I want them to be excited about me. I want to go somewhere where I'm wanted and I can have a true chance to compete for a starting job and play. So originally, though, I was ecstatic. I was really excited.
When that happens, I mean, how overwhelming is that? Everybody knows that I'm assuming you are like you mentioned, like, this is where I'm going to go. Was it overwhelming when that happened?
Yeah, I think I was pacing around my house for like 2 hours after that. Like, I was like, I don't even know what just happened. They just played a national championship like a week ago, and they just offered me. So I was shocked. I was excited.
Tell me about this. You made the decision a couple days ago. Is it calmed down? Does it feel like a weight off your shoulders? A little bit of both? What have the emotions been like here the last 48 hours?
Yeah, a little bit of both. Actually, I made the decision Saturday when I was on spring break in Cabo, and I wanted to enjoy the rest of the trip with my family, like relax, like let everything calm down. But I'm committed, so I was like, I'm gonna announce it on Tuesday after Easter weekend. But yeah, ever since I did it, I like got a bunch of hype right away, and everything's been so supportive, and like that's an amazing decision. It's a great staff, and it's obviously a huge weight off my shoulders, and now I can just focus on the season and taking our team to winning a state championship.
Now, I guess the obvious question is, how's your knee? How you feeling now?
Yeah, it's great. Actually, it's great. So, actually 3 weeks ago, I did like return to play testing just to see where it was at, and my knees are like basically like completely exactly the same now, like the strength in both legs, which is like the biggest thing they look at. So I'm like I've been sprinting, squatting, doing everything the same.
How good does that feel? I have imagined after, especially how the last season ended, to be 100%. You just got to be ready to rip the door off the hinges for fall camp to start in a few months.
Yeah, exactly. I'm really happy because, every single, like, when I returned, I was like, okay, my knee feels better. And then the more that I played, it just got worse and worse every single week. And then when it got to that Edina game, it was so bad. Like, I left the stadium one game in like crutches. Like, it was just not, it was not good, but I was pushing it because obviously I had my eyes on one thing, which was a state championship.
Describe that game then, how the Edina game played. It was an unbelievable game. You lose by 1. I can't even imagine, but alas, what was that like afterwards?
It was rough. It was a lot of emotions, with mainly sad with leaving the seniors and not finishing the job and not obviously completing what we wanted to do, which was win a state championship. But it was a hard-fought game and a lot of different emotions. Like I said, people gave it their all, so there's nobody to blame. I mean, we were bummed up everywhere. I think at the end of the game, we had our 3 starting receivers out. Cody was actually out with his ankle. Caleb was obviously out, and I was like drawing up plays on my hand.
When playing in that environment, I know you guys play in a lot of big games, but playing inside US Bank Stadium, what was that like?
It's awesome. It's a super cool area. Honestly, though, when you're out there and you're playing, you don't notice it as much because our stadium, Minor Anderson Stadium, I think we had 14,000 people at our homecoming game, which is like unheard of in Minnesota. So when you go from that to US Bank, it's not that much of a difference besides you're inside looking up at like this crazy brand new stadium. But yeah.
I asked Cody this. I'm curious. I don't know if he told you, but I have to ask. Like biggest. So Minnetonka. I'm interested. Who do you define as your biggest rival? Is it Edina? Is it Eden Prairie? Is it somebody else? Who would you say for you is number one for us?
I would say in like recent history, like the past 2 years, it's been Edina.
Yeah.
But like the last 20 years before that, it was constantly EP. We didn't. Last year was the first year we beat EP in 22 years.
Oof.
So, yeah.
How was that celebration afterwards then?
Yeah, that was exciting. I didn't actually play in that game. That was the first game that I was out, which sucked.
Yeah, I
hurt
bet.
to watch, but I was happy. I was super happy.
Before I let you go now, what's ahead? Has UND told you, like, hey, we'd like you to start working on this, or is that something that comes after the football season in terms of what they're looking for when you get ready to get up to Grand Forks?
They haven't told me much with what to do yet, and like my lifting and my workout process. They've given me a few names of kids to reach out to, and kids that are high on their board that are offered that they want me to reach out to and get to commit to UND, which is what they all do, which is super fun. And I like that process because it's basically like you're obviously recruiting your class to be as good as possible. Yeah. So I'm definitely pushing some kids.
I appreciate you doing this, bud. Congratulations. Thanks for being flexible here and going over the phone. Congratulations, and we'll chat again once we get closer to the football season, okay?
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right, Caden Gutzmer joining us here from Minnetonka, Minnesota, the newest member of the UND Fighting Hawk football class for 2027 as he joins us this morning over the phone. Appreciate him being flexible there. On a commitment, he had offers. We mentioned University of Miami was real, that it offered him. Also had offers from Memphis, Bowling Green, USD, and Sacramento State were the offers for the 6'2", 200-pound Gutzmer, who led Minnetonka, as we saw, to the state semifinals, lost to Edina by 1 point in a game where he was playing basically on one leg, considering how bad his knee injury was there. That was going to force him out of the season. He said, I'm not going to be done, and came back and played and saw what happened there. So appreciate him joining us this morning.